Hello, my dear students. This video is about decimal places and significant figures. In this video, I am going to show you the meaning of decimal places and significant figures. I will teach you how to round to decimal places and significant figures, and we will mention clearly the difference between them. Let's start by decimal places. I want you to know that 1 over 10 is equal to 0.1, and both of them could be read as 1/10, and this is equivalent to tenths, and it is the same to 1 decimal place. Also, 1 over 100 or 100ths, this is equal to 0.01, and this is the same as hundredth, and it's equal to 2 decimal places, the same as 1 over 1000, and this is equivalent to 0.001 or thousandth, and it's equivalent to 3 decimal places. So 1 decimal place is the first digit after the decimal point, like in 0.5. 2 decimal places means the second digit after the decimal point, like 0.07. 3 decimal places, this is the third digit after the decimal point, like 0.009. So we have 5 tenths, 7 hundredths, and 9 thousandths. Now, let's move to the word significant figures. As you can see from the word itself, significant means something that has a value. Yes, and significant figures are the first non-zero digits from the left, which means the first numbers or the first digits with actual value starting from the left. So if we have 354, 3 is the first significant digit. 5 is the second significant digit. 4 is the third significant digit. And if we have 0.231, we have to neglect the far zero at the beginning here. So the first significant figure in this case is 2. Also, you can see the difference here. If we have 0.00953, the first significant digit here is 9. Yes, we will neglect all the zeros on the left because, as we said, significant figures are the first non-zero digits from the left. But what if my zero came between two non-zero digits, like we have here in 0.07503? In this case, the 4 zeros at the beginning, they are not counted as significant figures. I will neglect them in case of counting significant figures. But the 0 here, which lies between two non-zero digits, is counted as significant. And in this case, 7 would be my first significant figure. 5 is going to be my second significant figure. 0 is going to be my third significant figure. Now, let's go through some examples to show us the difference between rounding to decimal places and to significant figures. Question 1. It says, round, and we have a number here which is 0.057 or 57 thousandths, and The question wants us to round this number to 1 decimal place and to 1 significant figure. So 1 decimal place, I have to count from the decimal point. So 1 decimal place means the first digit after the decimal point, which is 0 in this case. Then I have to look at the number to its right, which is, in this case, it is 5. If the number at the right of the number or the digit I'm rounding to is 5 or more, then I can say that this is a strong number and it will push the 0 to be 1. So my answer here is going to be 0.1 if I'm rounding to 1 decimal place. But if I'm rounding to 1 significant figures, then I don't care about the decimal point. I will count from the beginning of the number itself, searching for non-zero digits. And the first digit, the first non-zero digit I meant is 5. So 5 is my 1 significant figure in this case. And the number to its right is 7, which is strong. So my answer in this case is going to be 0.06. So 1 decimal place, I counted from the decimal point and it was 0. The number to its right was 5 and it pushed the 0 to be 1 and 0.1 was my answer. But 1 significant figure, this is the first non-zero digit from the left, and in my question here, it was number 5, and I looked to the number at its right, which is 7, and 7 is strong digit, so it pushed the 5 to be 6, and my answer in this case is 0.06. Question 2 says, round 1.0534 to 3 decimal places and to 3 significant figures. If we are going to round this number to 3 decimal places, then we should start counting from the decimal point. 0 is my first decimal place, 5 is my second, 3 is my third. So I have to look at 4 here. So we said if the number is 5 or more, then it's a strong number and it will be able to push the number to its left. But if the number is less than 5, then it is a weak number and it cannot push the 3. So if I'm rounding this number to 3 decimal places, my answer would be 1.053. As you can see, I said 3 decimal places, and in your answer, you have 3 decimal places. Now, if I want to round to 3 significant figures, I have to count from the beginning of the number, searching for non-zero digits. And yes, there is 1. This is my first significant figure. 0 is going to be my second significant figure. 5 is going to be my third significant figure. Look at 3 here, which is a weak number, so it will not be able to push the 5. So my answer is going to be 1.05. Question 3, it says round 0.457 to 2 decimal places and to 2 significant figures. In the case of decimal places, again, we're going to be counting from the decimal point. The first decimal place is 4, the second decimal place is 5. I will look at the 7, which is strong, so my answer is going to be 0.46. Round to the significant, to 2 significant figures, I have to count from the beginning of the number, searching for non-zero digits, And in this case, it would be 4. 4 is going to be my first significant figure. 5 is going to be my second significant figure. I will look at the 7 also. And in this case, my answer is going to be 0.46. So in some cases, the answer of two decimal places is the same of the answer of the rounding to two significant figures. Question 4. It says, round 41,982 to one significant figure. In this case, I will count from the beginning of the number, and the first significant figure is 4, and the number to its right is 1, so the 1 is not going to be able to push the 4 to 5, so it will remain 4. But the mistake most of you might do is you neglect the rest of the digits. I'm asking you to round 41,000. So your answer cannot be only 4. You have to maintain the zeros in the case of rounding whole numbers in order to give me a number that is close enough to the number I'm asking you to round. Question 5. It says, round 112.097 to two decimal places. In case of rounding to two decimal places, as we said, we have to count from the decimal point 1, 2, and 9 is my second decimal place. I will look at the 7, which will be able to push the 9. But this time, the number after 9 is 10. So my answer is going to be 112.9. 9 is being 10 now. I cannot write the 10, so I will add 1 to this 0, which is going to be 1, and the 9 itself is going to be 0. And do not forget to write this 0, because in the question, I was asking you to round to two decimal places, which means your answer should contain two decimal places. So if you write only 112.1, technically, it has the same value, but in my case, you did not give me what I was asking for. I needed an answer with two decimal places. So you have to maintain the 0 at the end. Question 6 says, round 4.984 to one decimal place. Again, I will count from the decimal point, so this 9 is my one decimal place digit. I would look to the number to its right, and as you can see, it is a strong number, so it will round up the 9. The 9 in this case is going to be 10. So this 10, I cannot write it at one place, so I would write 0 instead of 9, and I'm going to add 1 to my 4 here. So my answer is going to be 5. But since the question again is asking me to round to one decimal place, I have to make sure that my answer has one decimal place, which is 0.0 in my case. Again, if you write only 5, then your answer is going to be wrong. You have to write 5.0, since I was asking in the question about one decimal place. After you finish writing and studying the previous examples, I want you to try to solve questions 1, question 2, and question 3.